Well, that is a carol like I have never heard it before. So cool. Yes, Sir Hairless here. Today we have a new artist to the channel, that's Tommee PROFITT, and it is his version of O Come Emmanuel. I've received this recommendation quite a few times in the comments. I had never heard of Tommee PROFITT until I did a Diana Ankudinova video, my first video of hers actually. That was Can't Help Falling in Love, and in that video I was asking about the arrangement because it was transformed harmonically, essentially from major to minor, but there were some other things in there too, which in turn completely changed the feel of the song into something really quite dark. Please check out my reaction to that if you haven't already seen it, by the way. I do cry in it, and it's also quite short, so yeah, check that one out. Card up here. Anyway, why that's relevant is because apparently it's Tommee PROFITT's arrangement. But that intrigues me greatly. What I'm wondering for this, essentially, is what's it going to be, and is he going to do something similar? A complete harmonic restructure. I know nothing about him, but a quick Google tells me his works have been used in a lot of things globally, in films, in TV shows, in video games. So can we expect a modern twist on this carol? As for the carol O Come Emmanuel, compared to the many other traditional carols, this is one that I never sung much actually. So it's the one that I know the least well of all of the really famous ones. It's got a rich history dating back over 1,000 years supposedly, and the music, the melody that we're familiar with, goes back about 500 years. I've just been listening to a traditional version just to re-familiarize myself, and it has some interesting things in there. Unison singing with organ accompaniment. Polyphony, counterpoint. Delayed melodic repetition. Oboe accompaniment. So basically, let's just get straight into this one. I have many expectations, but also no expectations because I just don't know what to expect. Wow, well, that is a carol like I have never heard it before, straight up, and I think it is so cool, so different, just so different. Wow, well, thank you to everyone who recommended this. We're nearly halfway through. If this is your first time watching my channel, this is where I do a pause and go over some analysis of what we've just heard. If you don't want to hear me talking and you don't want to hear the analysis, go to the timestamp. I'll just go through because there was so many cool and different unexpected things to talk about here. First thing, the children's chorus. Who are they? I've looked through the description, I can't find it, but he did pin a comment saying special thanks to the kids choir and the amazing orchestra. I don't know who they are. If you do know, please let me know down below in the comments. But this is really interesting. I told the video director, Patrick Tohill, that I wanted it to look like a mix between Home Alone and the Saw movie. I think he's nailed that on the head, actually. I mean, Home Alone, yeah, here we go. And it looked very cold. There was breath coming out of their mouths when singing. Interestingly, one of my recent Christmas reactions was by Peter Hollins, and it was his version of Carol of the Bells, where he also has a children's choir with him. And it's also filmed in, something that could be a huge lot or warehouse. Also very cold, you can see the breath. And in that, I said it's almost a bit dystopian. Very, very similar vibes to this, it seems. Check out my reaction to that if you haven't already. Super, super arrangement, and you'll see what I mean about the aesthetic comparisons. And Peter Hollins also very kindly did send me a video of him going over his thoughts and intentions, which I included in that one. All right, so we start off here with the children's chorus. What a voice. And the main thing I noticed about this children's chorus is that there is no vibrato in the sound. Every sound is a straight tone, so there are no wobbles. And I really like her voice. Such a smooth transition into the blended voice, quite chest dominated. I remember when I was a treble or chorister, we always loved people with those kinds of voices where we would call it chesting, and where you can just chest quite high and almost a bit nasally, this sound as well. Anyway, no vibrato, the rest of the choir joins. And really low down, we can hear this drone. This structure, harmonically, is very archaic. Makes complete sense considering, like in the introduction, I said that the origins of this carol go back over 1,000 years. Why it's archaic? You have a drone note at the bottom, one melody above moving, but the drone doesn't move, causes these dissonances and then resolves and then more dissonances, more resolutions. And then you combine it with the technological enhancements, the tech effects that he's doing here. The infrequent beat on his pad and the swelling effect of this synthetic bass sound, you could not get a better mix of the old, the archaic, and the new, the contemporary technology. I think it's super clever. Also, just a quick note on the infrequency of the beats that he's playing. We don't have any parts other than the melody really providing a sense of rhythmic foundation. Things are not yet that clear. The fact that there is a beat, a percussive element, usually we would expect that to tell us what we need to know, how many beats there are in a measure or a bar when each new measure or bar begins. The beats that he's playing the beat on are not in a particular pattern. It throws us off and it keeps us feeling quite unfamiliar or uncertain or delving into the unknown, much like people in the Saw movies would have felt, I'm sure. So to me, there's just a complete juxtaposition in so many things. Old, new, comforting with a nice carol, and the opposite with this infrequent beat, the swelling, almost dystopian sounding bass. A children's chorus, Home Alone, you know, a funny a Christmas film, and Saw, really quite just grim films. Then moving away from the modern contemporary and leaning into the traditional with the organ accompaniment, just like I pointed out was in the traditional version that I showed in the introduction. And it's funny hearing this coming out of this super modern machine. Like I say, this is not the carol that I am most familiar with. I have not heard many different versions. But compared to the traditional version I did listen to before filming this, the one that I showed in the introduction, harmonically it's changed. So in other words, he has changed the chords that we hear. This is an example. After the big rejoice, rejoice, on Emmanuel, the key here is D minor. If D is note number 1, the chord that we end up on here is note number 6, which is this B flat here. In the traditional version that I heard before, the key is E minor. So E is number 1. But what chord do we get at this same point? It's the same chord. Not chord number 6, like Tommy is playing here. Because it's such an old carol, there will be hundreds and hundreds of versions and variations. I do not know what the true source is, but compared to the traditional version I heard and other versions I do know, he has changed the harmony a little bit. And then nice traditional into... And again, great. I think it's just a defiance of expectations, perhaps. We have an orchestra here. What do we typically associate orchestras with? Classical music. Here they come in, complete rhythmic urgency, rhythmic vitality. Just like with his infrequent beats at the start on the pad, it's sort of throwing us off rhythmically. We're in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but those make it a little bit more difficult to feel that. And then the children move into harmony. Back to unison here actually, but now a descant. How angelic, how nice. And just before we pause, we do start to see a growth in everything really. Now the children back in harmony, the orchestra, the strings were in unison before, now they have grown outwards. With the violins moving up. Really interesting, really cool. Let's carry on. Oh, wow. Sorry, I will continue in just a moment, don't worry. But there was just something that was bugging me. From where we carried on though, that noise. To me, that noise is dystopia. I don't know why, I don't know where I've heard it before or a similar sound, but it just makes me go, ugh. But here now we have the orchestra, the rhythmic vitality, the choir in parallel motion actually could be considered quite an archaic type of singing. The organ as well, the beat, just complete mix of all styles spanning centuries stereotypically, or maybe archetypically is the better word there. There, that's the moment I mentioned where he has changed the harmony, and I said that he goes to chord number 6, a nice major chord in a minor carol otherwise. And that major emphasis here, I don't know if you feel the same, but to me it just really, really stands out. And the lyrics as well, rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel. So I like this change to the major. Again, I don't know if in traditional versions, you know, if it is a major 6 chord here, but at least compared to the one that I was listening to before and the ones that I just feel like I remember, that isn't the case. All right, let's carry on. It looked like it was a nice choir bit. Wow. Well, that was very good, if I'm allowed to say so myself. I just love things like this, completely unexpected. If you told me you have a children's choir and an orchestra performing O Come, Emmanuel, even if I had a million attempts to describe the type of performance I thought it might be, that would not be it. I just love it when you discover new music like that, completely unexpected. A new type of cover, yeah, really, really cool. There are just a few things that I'd like to go over from that last section. So the beat, that rhythmic vitality in the strings and everything, it all stops and we get this choir moment with the sustained strings. The choir sounds like it's in unison. There is a higher part, providing harmony, a sort of descant, but really with minimal movement. So the focus is on the melody there. Nice rich chords in the instrumental accompaniment. Ah, what's this major chord to end the phrase there? Completely not what we are expecting. And this starts the motion. The wheels now are moving. And what do we get? Many more examples of harmonic change, where the chord progression is just changed. This was what I was wondering would happen based on the Diana Ankudinova arrangement that I heard, and he's done it here. So I would guess that this is one of his main features or characteristics or stylistic choices when he does cover music. If you've seen my channel before, you'll know that I'm all about the harmony. I think the harmony of the music is really the main core. Everything else, the singing technique, the instrumentation, they are all very, very important, but it's the harmony really that can just transform a piece of music. Without harmony, and even a melody is providing harmony by itself, a song with words would become a poem or a story. So I always find it so interesting when someone just transforms the harmony, and he does it in such a way where it's not that obvious until the end here. Let's find some other moments. Well, straight away actually. So we get this major chord. Right in the middle of it all, that chromatic fall. That chromatic line is here. So we go from here to here, this diminished chord, and the melody in the choir as well is, and then they repeat this note. If we bring it down, you know, there's real harsh dissonance in there. And the choir is singing in harmony as well, so there's a part underneath, even adding to this. Another new chord there that we just aren't expecting. On this one, oh, the melody is the same. And just to do a simple build-up of the chord we hear, the harmony underneath the melody is here, which is a major third. But in this context, in the bass, we have this. And then that is just a chord. Quite non-standard, non-traditional for sure. And this is like film music now. Rich choral choir sound with the ahs. The rhythmic energy is back. We get the brass. With the melody. And when brass comes in like that, I always think of film music. I just do. They just make such a huge sound. And final reduction back to the acoustic piano. Nice ending. A little card just came up at the top here. I can't get it to come back up, but it said 1 hour of cinematic Christmas music by TOMMEE PROFITT, which gives me a bit of comfort. The fact that I've just been talking about it, reminding me of film music. I guess maybe that was his intention. And again, as we saw in his pinned comment, he said he wanted a mix of Home Alone and Saw, 2 films he's referencing. I mean, he was talking about the video, I suppose. Anyway, let's leave that one there. I thought that was really cool, and I just loved the complete combination of styles. Musical styles, structural styles, harmonic changes, old versus new, stereotypical presumptions versus what we actually get. This is why I love music. Never presume anything because you don't know what is coming. Please comment down below other songs by TOMMEE PROFITT you'd like me to do in the future. Based on this, I could very well enjoy a lot of his things. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a like and subscribe. You can keep me cozy and warm by donating me a hot chocolate at the Buy Me a Coffee links below. Or if you want to join the community, get access to polls and content not available on YouTube, you can do so by joining the Patreon linked on the screen now, and I will see you next time.